Hello, everybody. Welcome to My Weekly Meltdowns official Survivor 41 draft and cast analysis. Guys, I cannot believe we are finally here for season 41. Adrian's having a party in the background. We're all just super excited. But I can't believe we're here. I feel like the preseason has like snuck up on us, and we have an amazing cast of 18 people that we're going to draft and make very bold predictions on that will probably be all wrong.
100% correct, because that's all we do.
Exactly. I mean, we have like years of podcasting, and we've never said a single thing incorrectly. So,
correct. I know I have never ever been wrong about anything in my entire life, especially when it comes to things I'm podcasting, and I don't intend for this to be my first night. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I said Josh from BB Can 9 was the next Dan Kiesling, that aged very, very well. So
it sure did.
Can't wait. But with me, as always, is Beth. How are you doing, Beth?
I'm doing really well. Feeling blondified. I was in the chair for 5 hours today to get my hair to look naturally blondish and not clunky and all that kind of stuff. So feeling much better about the color, feeling much better and more prepared to come in here and choose the eventual winner of Survivor 41.
Well, Beth, you are always beautiful, but you are like absolutely stunning tonight.
Thank you.
Really, really great. With us also is our chat moderator and patron as well, Matt Henning. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's a Wednesday. I think that says it all.
It's a hump day.
It's hump
It's
day.
a Wednesday.
Hump day.
I'm glad you got that reference. And then we have with us.
I begin to like Tyler so much less now. So much less.
I knew you were going to be like biting your tongue when I was saying all that. I like to rile you up, Matt. But with us is our newest patron, Adrian Celeste. How are you doing, Adrian?
I am doing really well. I'm very excited to pick members for our team for this new season Survivor, and good to be back.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Andrew is going to be popping in once he's home from work and all that stuff. So I'm going to bring up the draft board here. So what we are doing this year, kind of similar to BBK 9, is we are giving all of our $15 patrons get to be included in the draft. So that is what we are doing here. So with that, everybody gets 2 picks. Beth and I are joining forces tonight to draft the ultimate team here. So how it's going to work is Beth is going to go first, and then Matt, Adrian, and hopefully Andrew is here by then. And then we're going to do that snake style. So then Andrew's going to go next, and then Adrian for his second pick, Matt for his second pick, and then I will choose my pick. So that locks in all of the people that are here tonight. So what are we doing with the remaining people that aren't picked? Well, we are assigning them randomly or semi-randomly, just depending on how we feel, basically. We're going to be assigning them to our remaining $15 level patrons, just to give us a chance to talk about each person on this amazing cast. Real quick before we get started here, do we have any overall like thoughts about the season? Or the cast, I should say. Adrian, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this season, especially the cast. Like, thank God CBS implemented the rules of over 50% POCs this season, diversity role. I am so happy with the casting for this season. Not only there's diversity in age, but diversity in people of color. There are some people in the LGBTQ community, and I think there's one person with a disability on this season, so I'm very excited for what this season holds for us.
Yeah. Matt, what are your overall like first thoughts about the cast?
I'm going to save it until the first episode, because last time I talked about a cast ahead of the season, someone got mad at me because I said Julie would be out pre-jury, and I'm not getting that hate thrown on me, even though I was right.
Guys, anybody watching or listening, like, it's all for fun. Like, we are all just making predictions that are going to be very wrong.
No, it's very serious, and I think that you should be sure to send me a lot of hate. Me in particular, nobody else.
Yeah,
when I say
send
something,
it to me, and I will forward it to Beth.
There you go. Matt. Yeah, Matt will be my assistant of sorts. It just
Another place you can send hate is to Finley's Instagram account. So definitely
Instagram
send
account.
all. I like the sound of that app. Maybe that's my $1 million idea. But I had some like I had like a little section for casting themes this year. I feel like there's a lot of medical professionals. There's like 4 or 5 like cross country stars, which is interesting. Overall, the
There's
women
2
are all
students.
very like, yes, there's 2 students. Overall, like very strong feminist women. A lot of people, like a lot of the women said in their bios that like they had like really strong like female heroes that they've looked up to for various reasons. We have our first Canadians casted on Survivor US, so I'm curious if that will play like any kind of geographical role in all of this. I think there's like not very like Hollywood like influencer people. Like it seems like lots of real fans, real people, which I'm always about. And one last thing is lots of Todd Herzog mentioned. So I wonder if they showed them Survivor China in Sequester or something.
I mean, well, Survivor China is like the best non-returnee season, so you should root for Todd.
I don't know
And
about
emulate
that.
his game.
That's a different discussion. But we'll
That's a
we'll have
different
to fight
discussion
about
as
that.
well.
Beth, sorry, I didn't ask you. Do you have any like overall like thoughts about the cast as a whole?
So I've been trying very hard. I know that it's unlike me to not dive immediately into everything, but I have found that I enjoy Survivor seasons the most when I don't know a lot about the cast ahead of time. So I've only read through once the cast like on the CBS website. Like that is all I've done. I haven't listened to any interviews. I haven't seen anything in the press. I've actually been trying very hard to make sure that this is going to be fresh in my mind. From what I see, I'm really excited, not only just because of all the different casting initiatives and such, but I really think this is a dynamic bunch. And I'm really hopeful that this means exciting gameplay and maybe it's just like a fresh new start for Survivor. We're post a pandemic. We have new casting guidelines. So I'm really interested to see how this all plays out.
Yeah. And that is, of course, like with mentioning that Adrian said, like we are with a new like diversity quota. So I feel like it's kind of in the same vein as like Big Brother 23 this year, which is 2 thumbs up from me overall. And I'm just very excited. The first time, like this is the first time in a while we've had a new cast. I mean, we had to go back to Islands of the Idol, Island of the Idols, sorry. Which we don't need to like revisit that. Of course, Dean was a part of that cast. So Dean, you will always be in my heart. But it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've had new people to talk about on Survivor. So with that being said, I think we are ready to get into it. We're going to spend like 1 to 2 minutes talking about each person just to make sure we keep the truck moving. We have 18 people to go through, and I can't wait to get started. So with that being said, Beth, give us your pick for Survivor 41.
Okay, so I'm stuck between a couple of people. I have on another screen, I have the cast photos that I'm trying to relive. I'm stuck between a couple of people. Yes, we love a notebook situation.
I am totally unprepared.
I love that too.
Yeah, the whole gamut of preparation, preparedness, whatever.
There's a lot of people who I like personally, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I think that they are going to win, right? And so somebody who I think combines both the likability factor of somebody who I really want to root for based off of what I've read, and also who I think is going to go far game-wise is Lyanna. So I'm going to go with Lyanna as my first choice.
Okay, so Lyanna is 20 years old. She's from she lives in DC. She's a college student. She's very big about like poetry and like I feel like she's a very strong like female. She said her biggest accomplishment was being invited to perform spoken word for Congressman John Lewis during a fundraiser, which is very impressive for a 20-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She has some world experience living in Tokyo and Singapore as a child. But what really got to me is like they asked everybody who their quote unquote hero is. She said, "My hero is Misty Copeland, the first female African American dancer to be promoted to a principal dancer for the American Ballet Theater." Finally, somebody that doesn't say their family. I see Misty Copeland as a hero because she faced incredible odds growing up in terms of her home life, but she also stayed committed to her craft and the love of ballet to get where she is today. Adrian, what are your thoughts on Lyanna?
I love Lyanna. Like I just once the rumored cast came out and her name was on it, I follow her on Instagram. She does like poetry based on the Black Lives Matter movement, so I'm here for it. And she looks like, from her interviews, she's soft-spoken, but I feel like people are gonna be like, "Oh, Lyanna's so nice," until like further on, as she makes it far, she could have that strong-minded sense in her as a 20-year-old, and she goes to Georgetown, so that's a really good big school for her. So I'm very excited to see how Lyanna plays.
Matt, what do you think about Lyanna?
She was going to be one of my 2 picks, so I
I'm so
support this
sorry.
choice.
Me too.
She was She was like my 3rd pick. She was my
second pick.
The reason why I chose Lyanna, though, was honestly not only because we've seen so much about how well spoken she obviously is and how much she can write, but like she's also a dancer and a runner. So that tells me that she has a lot of potential endurance in what she can do for challenges. She brings a physical game and she's probably well spoken, so she could probably play a really good social game. Despite the fact she's only 20 years old, I think that she could be a real game changer.
I think she can win all of the balancing competitions because if you're doing ballet, you're light on your feet.
Yeah.
And a lot of those balance beams are very narrow.
It's a really good point.
That's a good point.
Also, so because her and JD are like the youngest of the cast at 20 years old, do you guys think her age could be like an advantage or a disadvantage to her? Just like how Hannah's age back in BB23, we thought she was going to go early because of her age. So
yeah, and I'm glad you're calling me out on that, Adrian, because I was very wrong about Hannah in the preseason. And I feel like Lyanna is like the most like mature 20-year-old I've ever met in my life. So I hope it's not going to play a factor. There's another 20-year-old that I think comes off a little bit more boyish. So hopefully things work out for her.
Yeah, Lyanna's very mature for her age at 20, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, so I'm gonna put Lyanna's picture under death, but it'll be in order for the rest of them. But I feel like that's pretty fitting. All right, so Matt, go ahead and give us your pick.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna go grab a seltzer.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first pick will be Ricardo.
That is a really good pick.
He was my second pick. He was.
I love how like on the same page all of us are here. So
he was
Matt,
my male winner pick of the season.
Yeah, I could see it. So go ahead, Matt. Give us your spiel on Ricardo.
Well, I feel like as a flight attendant, you have to deal with a lot of different types of personalities. So that's going to come in handy. If because he's deaf in one ear, he can read lips, and there are a lot of conversations that will go on where if I can read your lips, I don't need to hear what you're saying. I think that could come in handy. I also like that his hero is his husband, so not necessarily a family member, but. And I just think he's 31, so he's kind of in the middle between an older group and a younger group, which I think will give him maneuverability. And I like his hair.
I am jealous of his hair. Adrian, what do you think about Ricardo?
I love Ricardo. Another person I followed, like when the rumor cast came out, he literally gives me, he looks like he could live on an island for about 26 days. When he mentions his, I really enjoyed that he mentions his hard of hearing in one ear and his ability to read lips. That is another great factor to have on Survivor. I really enjoyed seeing his family life, with his husband, who is transgender. His husband is transgender, Andy. Love him and his family. I think he could do really well on the tribe he's on. I think he's going to have a really good social game. And I honestly can see him winning a couple of immunities if he makes it to the merge. So very excited for him. And he's my winner pick. God dang it, Matt. Damn it.
I do like one thing that stuck out to me is that like because of his disability in his ear, sorry if that's like the incorrect term for it, he said that he's like more in tune with body language, which I always say, I feel like I say every week on these shows, like body language. It tells you so much. And the fact that he's so like
communication makes up 90% of what we hear.
Yeah, and the fact that he's like so like into it, or not into it, but like just like very like hyper aware of it. I think it's like such a good skill set to have.
Also, the fact he's a flight attendant means he's putting up with bullshit every single day.
That's what I opened with. That
Especially in COVID days.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Also, he would be the second flight attendant winner because Todd was a flight attendant on Survivor
Ooh.
China.
And he could be the second gay flight attendant. So
Yeah, that's true.
And since we're all watching Survivor China in sequester, we're all rooting for the
It was perfect. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Adrian. So give us your first pick here.
Oh my God. Thank God my number one winner pick is still on the board. I am very excited for her. Once again, another person I followed from Instagram, out from the Rumor Cast. I love her TikToks on Instagram. I think she's going to be hilarious for her tribe. I could see her and Ricardo working well together. I can her and my female winner pick, aka my true winner pick, I'm picking Chantel Smith.
All right.
Love.
So what is it about Chantel that stuck out to you, Adrian?
I just really, she gives me queen energy. That's it. That's all I got from her. I can really hope her and Lyanna form like a final two together. They can be like Devon and Bailey. And I just really like her story from being in a gang to like losing her mom, going through foster care. That's another big like to outlast like a big factor in an environment. So I think she has a will to like learn how to survive outside of the environment that she's in. So I feel like in promos, like she's kind of like a little bit underestimated and not a lot of people really talk about her, but I feel like people are going to be surprised about her, like her performance in her social game throughout the tribe and this game. So yeah, that's why I picked Chantel.
Henning, what do you think about Chantel?
I liked most of what I saw, but there was one big red flag for me, and that is she's a pastor's daughter.
Yeah.
And that can be very polarizing depending upon how religious she is on the island, because we've seen people who are associated with religions getting picked off.
From what I've seen of her, like the way her TikToks like about religion, she doesn't like full on like give us conservative like full on religion. She just like she does religion, but like does it like for fun on her TikTok. So I don't see her being like the overall like religious like Leslie in China, like basically. So I could see her like.
No, I think that's a really good point. I think that I think I see her as somebody who, through her kind of trauma that she's been through and probably through religion, that has helped strengthen her character and that kind of thing. So I see that as being where she more relies on, which might make her more resilient for the game. But I do agree, Matt, that it could be a situation where, you know, we've had others in the past who look no further than Philippines when, you know, we had somebody speaking tongues on the beach and such, and that rubbed the tribe the wrong way, you know, just like little things like that. I do think that once again, we have another dancer, another runner. She's, I think, going to be competitive in that regard. And what I like about it the most is, you know, she says that she's involved with improv and acting. That also tells me improv is something that's all about reaction to other things and getting how to pick up cues from other people. So if she's really in tune with improv, that could very well help her as a skill set socially in this game.
Yeah, that was my note too, is like improv is like a very good skill set to have, I think.
And if she is that type of religious person that like speaks tons to gods, I hope we don't have another South Pacific type of like situation.
Oh God. Well,
Could be like a Jamaica from Big Brother 8 situation.
Oof.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Oof.
Um,
Yeah, so
all right. Andrew's not here.
yes,
What should we
Andrew
do?
is not here. So what we're gonna do is
Should
we're gonna
we give
go snake
Adrian
style.
another
Yeah.
pick?
Yeah.
All
So,
right, Adrian.
yes, thank God. Okay.
All right, Adrian.
Okay.
So give us your next pick.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Also, Anelda, yes, they are doing an eviction tonight, pre-taped in Big Brother.
Yeah. Mhm.
We can start tipping now.
Oh my gosh. I know. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna strategically pick for my next pick because I want to separate personal to like strategic. I'm gonna pick some sort of the dark horse of the season. From like her interviews in her bio and her Rob has a podcast interview, like the stories that she told in an interview her stories are very inspiring. And I really see people like kind of underestimating her. I'm picking Tiffany.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So Adrian's next pick is Tiffany. So what is it about Tiffany that that struck you? I get like Jennifer Coolidge energy.
I think the same thing.
No. I got it from another person from this cast. I got Jennifer Coolidge vibes from another person from this cast.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I
Yep.
get them like mixed up, but same energy.
Yep.
But Adrian,
Yep.
go ahead and give us the spiel on Tiffany.
Yeah. First off, from looking at her, she gives me kind of like Mama C vibes from Worlds Apart, but like the way her interviews are like more like laid back, like she's more chill. So I don't see her like causing too many chaos. I could see her having snarky confessionals behind her backs. And she's a teacher, so she learned how to deal with like new groups of kids, like coming in, coming out, and like new groups of people. And teachers in Survivor have done really well in Survivor, I've heard. So I really see her kind of like going far. I just really hope she does well in the challenges, and hopefully she does good for her tribe. So yeah, that's why I picked Tiffany.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at Adrian. I'm laughing that all of a sudden, just slowly, that picture got
Listen. Tiffany is the moment. She is the movement. She's from Queens, which is I lived in Queens for 5 years, so that makes me root for her a little bit more. I just like her in her bio. She says, and I read this in a Jennifer Coolidge voice. She said, "I hate brushing my teeth before bed. I never wash my face." What worries me is
I love running, talking to people, building things in the house. Someone has to.
And she says she wants to play competitively like Ozzy and Colby, so that makes me concerned about any kind of strategic prowess for her, but we'll see. Matt, what do you think about Tiffany?
I hope this will not be taken the wrong way, but she gives me very Beth energy.
Hey.
Okay.
Because like literally her 3 words to describe herself were funny, loving, and then in all caps, loud.
I love it so much because I said the same thing. I was like, oh well, that's me out there.
And as much as I love Beth, I don't see Beth winning Survivor, so I don't see Tiffany winning Survivor either.
Well, I have a question. Do you see Beth going to jury in Survivor?
I see you being the last boot before jury.
I think that's fair. I want to be I want to be the merge boot. Like honestly, that's what I want. If I can't win the game, I want to be the merge boot.
That's where I see Beth going. Is you are either the last boot before jury, or you are the merge boot.
That's
and also,
go ahead, Adrian.
I forgot to add that Survivor on YouTube released their first look at the first like couple of minutes of the first episode, and we saw Tiffany's confessional, and she mentioned in her confessional that she was an alternate for this season, and she was called to like Fiji like the day before, and they filmed like her reaction, like getting the call and stuff to Fiji.
I saw that.
So like I feel like she could be like an important character for the season. Like, if she was an alter, the producers wouldn't have a reason to put that confessional in there. So that could be so.
Yeah.
Or that means she's the boo in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they
But
want
they
to
never
give her
done that
some
before.
story time.
So they've never done that before in Survivor. So
No, they've never done 26 days before either.
That's true.
That's true.
I know.
We are in a different
that's
era of Survivor. All right. Well, so Tiffany is Adrian's second pick. So, Matt, let's hear your second pick for Survivor 41.
I mean, I made a selection during BB Can 9 based off of hair. And I think it worked well.
Oh my
to be
gosh,
totally
I know.
honest.
I know this.
So I'm once again going to continue my trend of picking someone off of hair. And I'm going to pick Erica.
Ugh.
All right. So give us the scoop on Erica.
1, great hair. 2,
Absolutely.
she is my sister's name, so I also felt a connection to her. 3, she's from Niagara Falls, which I'm from upstate New York, so that's like right across the lake from Buffalo, which I've been to a few times. So I was like, I vibe with her, and I also like that she's short, because in some of those challenges where they have to like adjust things, I think her being more compact will be to her benefit, where the tall, lanky people
Sometimes
kind of
struggle.
just struggle.
It's that lower center of gravity too, and she's someone who's also a boxer. She's into fitness. I think that could be very helpful for her in those challenges.
I also like that she compared herself to Brenda and Todd.
Love that.
I like the Brenda comparison.
I also do like, so she's one of the people from Canada. She's from Toronto, and I feel like Americans have this perception of Canadians as like super nice, sweet people. So combine that with
Not
her
from
height
Toronto.
and her strategy
Yeah,
of
right now.
like wanting to be under the radar, underestimated, and stuff like that. I feel like she's gonna play a really stealthy game, and I feel like she can do it. I think this is a really good pick, Matt. Matt, I think your team is really strong overall.
I have to disagree with that
Oh.
completely.
Okay.
People that I know from Toronto are very outspoken.
She's from Niagara Falls, not from
But she
Toronto.
lives in Toronto
she's
right
living
now.
in Toronto
Yeah,
now?
she lives
Yeah.
in Toronto right
I
now.
see.
So from what I know, okay, as someone who's lived near the Canadian border my entire life, people from Toronto do not fit the how you doing, eh? Like Canadian kind of like friendship kind of thing. And that's not me trying to like shit on people from Toronto. They're much more like New Yorkers than you would ever.
Please clip
think.
this and send this to the city of Toronto.
Please. Toronto was built to try to be like New York City, and it invites that kind of atmosphere to it as well. So it's a lot of people who are kind but not necessarily nice. And I mean that in the sense that like they will give you the shirt off their back, but they'll give you a comment about it when they do it. You know what I mean?
I
So
guess
I feel
the
like
question-
that's the kind of thing that I can see her, especially as someone who works in communications. There's a lot of people that we know who are like that. Think of the Ikas of the world and such. They work in that field in Toronto. That's the kind of vibe I can see.
And I wonder if she works in like the entertainment field in Toronto. So maybe she's not like, she's from Niagara Falls. Who knows how long she's been living in Toronto?
Yeah.
So maybe she knows how to deal with.
And I
those
also am
kind of
saying
people.
I'm also painting with broad strokes here. Toronto people tend to be more like New Yorkers. Montreal tend to think that they're French Canadian, like, or French, I mean, but they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they're French Canadian, but they're not French. You know,
Yes. They don't
Ottawa
think of
people are
themselves
just
as
the
Canadian.
nicest people in the whole world. Woo.
Adrian, any thoughts on Erica before we move on?
I love Erica. Like, I have to root someone who is Filipino, so I have to root for her. And I really think she could play a good social game because she's in communications and stuff. Like, she could really be good socially. I don't know how she would do well in the like elements. Like she said in her like interview that like she doesn't like roast the chicken or like catch a fish. So like that's the only thing I'm worried for her about. But I feel like if she does good socially with her tribe, I feel like she can go pretty far with her social game. So yeah, I really like Erica. So
Let the straight man catch the fish and take care of
Yeah.
the chicken.
oof.
But then vote
And
them
let
out
her eat.
early.
And yes.
Just kidding.
All right. Well, it is time for my pick, and I was
Tyler.
torn between two people, and I can say who these two people are because Andrew is not here, and this is like the last pick of the night. So I'm torn between Evie and Jairus, who I think is going by JD, correct? So
we could be team 20-year-olds.
And honestly, Beth, that's where I'm leaning. So he is very young, but he's working with kids in pediatric nursing, and he spends volunteer time in hospitals. And he says that seeing kids in pain but still smiling gives him a lot of perspective. And I feel like having perspective and being able to zoom out in Survivor is a really powerful thing. Also, something that really catches my eye is that he lists Fabio as one of his people he wants to play like, which is a deep cut reference because everybody talks about Parvati, Sandra, Boston Rob, whatever. But to say Fabio of all people, I think is really great because he is this young surfer dude kind of type, and this tells me that he's not gonna play a super aggressive, playing too hard type of game. I feel like he's gonna play exactly the type of game that he needs to play, and then just be super likable at the end and scoop up all the jury votes. He also lists Jeremy's meat shield management as something that is very important to him in his game. So I think I'm really seeing a lot of good stuff from Jairus. So he is my pick for this season and my overall winner pick for the season.
I am thankful for this pick as well, for you, because we have a team together. I agree with you with what he said. I like somebody who, he's into jiu-jitsu and running and all that kind of stuff. I always have to go to the strength aspects of this, because this game does require so much of your body in particular. And I think that, like you said before, that perspective will give him strength of mind and resiliency. And he just kind of comes across just through the paragraphs of reading to me as somebody who's just a very genuine person. So I think that everything that you've said, I completely agree. I think that's a good pick.
All right, Matt, tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, there is a reason I see that you're wrong. And it's a wrong for the right reasons, but when he says in his things that he dislikes that I really hate bullies, and I have a fear that he could end up on the wrong side of an early face-off and come out on the wrong end of that. Because if he really dislikes them, I could see him butting heads with another potential alpha male. And if he can't rally the situation to his favor, I could see him going early.
Yeah.
If he can avoid those, I think he's definitely a contender. But it's those small little red flags that just kind of make me concerned for him.
Adrian, what do you think? You're the tiebreaker here.
I personally like JD. I think he's a cool guy. When he speaks, the way he speaks, I thought he was so broy. I was oh, that's gonna be a problem. But the way he mentions his credentials, I really like how he's going. The only problem is, Tyler, arcing back to what you said about Hannah preseason, is his age. I feel because of he's a little broy and because he's so young, I feel spoiler alert, JD is on the Ua tribe with Ricardo and Brad Chantel. I feel he's on a tribe with people more older than him. So I feel that's going to be a kind of a big factor and a big test to see where he fits on his tribe. That's the only problem I have. But on the bright side, I feel he's going to do really good in challenges, and I feel he's going to be a really good positive light for his tribe and for everyone in the cast. So I really hope he does really well this season. So
he's one of those guys who I could see being picked off right before merge, where he is the merge boot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's one.
Yep.
I just have to say that I'm a little upset that nobody chose Jeff Probst's hair for their cast pick, because I definitely feel this is, an experienced player, someone who we haven't seen before.
I thought that was Allison's secret pick. Is she's picking Jeff from Sarah?
Actually, before
we do have her picks.
yeah, let's talk about Allison's winner circle before we go and address.
Do you have that listed by chance? Because it's like buried in our chat.
Hold on, I will find it. Actually, why don't we move on and then I'll interrupt and bring it up.
Okay, so so the picks are done for the night. Andrew is still not here, so we are forfeiting his picking responsibilities. So what we're going to do, since this isn't like picks of our own here, I feel like it would be best if each of us just go through, pick one person to talk about, assign them to a person. So it's going to be a little revenge trip. Beth, go ahead.
Okay, so Allison's winner circle is Ricardo, Heather, and David. Those are her three. And as we know, Allison has a pretty good track record. So Ricardo, Heather, and David are her tops here.
All right.
So I like the idea of let's do a rapid fire round. Sorry to the survivors who won't have as much time for us to talk about them. It's nothing personal.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to assign who was my other pick, Evie. So just real quick. So how this is going to work is like the person that we're picking is going to be like who we're talking about. Then we're going to like move on to the next person. So Evie is they go by the pronouns they, she. They're 28 years old from Arlington, Massachusetts. Is a PhD student. I really liked how she said the AOC is her hero because she's a badass woman and withstands so much hate, sexism, racism, ageism. Somehow never gives up or gives in. Love that about her. And they want to be close to the center of the power in the alliance, but never directly perceived as the one making the calls. So we'll see if that pans out for her. She also references Natalie Anderson, which I never think is a bad thing. And she says she'll do well because she's sensitive to people's energies.
So who are you assigning Evie to?
Yeah, so I will assign it to just because I love Valencia so much. I'm going to give Evie to Valencia.
Love that.
Yes. So Beth, go ahead and give us your pick and who they're going to go to.
All right. I am going to choose Xander. Xander is interesting. Another young person. He is 21. He lives in Jacksonville, or he's from Jacksonville, Florida, lives in Chicago right now. What I like about that is that you have somebody who has lived in two very different parts of the United States, growing up in one area and now lives in a metropolitan area in the Midwest. He describes himself as, independent and adventurous. He doesn't like laziness. That's one of the things that I think is going to be interesting about him. Is he going to be somebody that will call people out if they're not pulling their weight at camp? Is he going to be somebody who will be seen as a threat because he's obviously a little bit more physical? There's things to him that I have questionable red flags with. But I also think that what I like about him is that we have he loves this pursuit of knowledge and experience. That's what he's put in there, that he has this need to learn more. And I think that is somebody who typically has done pretty well, the person who's out here for the experience. So I want to give him to, who do we have behind? Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay. I want to give him to
Stefan.
Stefan.
To who?
Stefan.
Okay. All right. One thing I want to say about Xander, biggest nipples I've ever seen on somebody.
What is the biggest?
I think they're pretty large and in charge, don't you think?
No comment.
But in all seriousness, I feel like this is just Travis 2.0 from Big Brother 23. Okay, so Adrian, go ahead and give us somebody else to talk about.
I'm gonna play nice and can't wait to see what she does. Let's go with Sarah, the MIT grad.
Okay. So give us a scoop about Sarah.
So Sarah is from Boston, Massachusetts. She's currently a health consultant. She she was I think I heard she was a captain of the swim team, so she would definitely do well in the swimming aspect. She does like on Instagram like trapeze and like aerialist like silks like in the air. So I think she'll do really well like balancing and like knows how to like stretch. And the way she like spoke in her interviews, it's so like soft spoken, like kind of like so like shy. She kind of gives me a little bit of like Michelle, but like more like introvert Michelle. So I can't wait to see what she does for her tribe. I just really hope she doesn't become like too shy, where like her tribe is like, oh, Sarah, I don't know about that much. We could just let her go. So hopefully she does really well. I think she's going to do really well in the endurance challenges too.
That's a good point.
Plus, she got that poker background.
So,
Yeah.
Ethan, who are you assigning? Who are you assigning Sarah to?
Andrew's out of the consent, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you can assign things to Andrew. That's fine.
Yeah, you can assign a cast member to Andrew.
Okay. I'm not giving Andrew Sarah. I'm not giving Andrew Sarah. I just want to sabotage his team. Sabotage.
That's what he gets for being late here.
Yeah. You know what? Let's give Valencia an all-female team. Let's go.
Yes, love that.
All right. So
That's
Valencia's
a great team.
is locked in. Yeah, I like this team for Valencia.
Brains and broad.
Yes,
That's where we're
I love it. All right, so Matt, give us your next pick and who you will be assigning them to.
Oh, this is a full-on sabotage pick.
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Bring forth Brad.
All right, so let's hear about Brad.
He's from Wyoming, which I think automatically kind of puts you on a bad foot because you're from the state with the least population. And he's also a rancher, which again doesn't necessarily help you in this game because it just hasn't fared well for people in the past. I think he's also the oldest person on the cast.
He's not the oldest, but he's
not
one
the
of them.
oldest. He's not the
He's
oldest.
only 50.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's up there.
Yeah, so I don't see him as winning. That's why I'm using him to sabotage someone.
I can't wait to figure out if it's Andrew or Rory that you're sabotaging.
Oh, it's full on Rory.
Okay.
I love it.
And I mean, he liked having an older player in his BB can draft, so he can have another one.
There you go.
And
Go ahead, Adrian.
When you said that Rancher doesn't really help in this game, I feel like it's gonna kind of a little bit help him because like Ranchers like they deal with like kind of like the workhorse, like the outside environment. So I can really see him
didn't
doing
help
well.
Chicken in Survivor China.
Okay, but like, come on, he knows how to like be like a workhorse in his environment. So I feel like that's gonna help. But if it's tribes of 6 to start, I don't feel he's going to be the social player, and you need to be one of the social players on the tribe of 6. I could see Brad being like the GOAT for like a final 3 or something. Like if he makes it to the merge.
I see him as the first boot. If his tribe is not what I mean.
I see. No. You know what I see? I see Debbie Wayner upside.
Oh, and
like
Rory's
just
here.
from like the stories that he gives.
Rory's here.
Rory in the chat says, "Who summoned me?" Thanks, Matt.
So Rory, you just got your first pick.
Yes.
Good job, go for you, Rory.
I also, we've had ranchers in the past or people who have worked in large farms and that kind of thing have had varying levels of success, but nobody has been able to clinch that win yet. And so I do think that obviously from a physical standpoint, from a workhorse standpoint, he'll be an asset, but is he going to have the social game, to Matt's point, where, in his bio, it really doesn't talk about anybody outside of his family, which is fine. Like, I think that's beautiful. But when you're talking about a social game, that could be a hindrance in his ability to talk with people who he doesn't have much in common with.
I'm also trying to get as many Survivor China references in tonight as we
That is the theme. Okay, so I'm going to give the next pick, the person I want to talk about next, I should say, is Sydney Seagal. So I feel like she is a very like loud personality, and I feel like her like vibe is not going to mesh with like this particular cast. She's another cross country champion. She's fluent in 4 languages. She says she wants to play like Natalie White, nursing Russell's ego and then winning against him in the end. But I don't see Sydney as the type to really fly under the radar. I mean, any kind of like preseason interview, like they ask like a simple question, right? And they like have like, you just like say the answer for like a couple seconds. Sydney goes on for like 30, 40 seconds, like regardless of the question. She didn't really have much in her bio to go off of, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there was some like preseason drama with her like social media.
Yeah.
What, Adrian? I knew I could count on you for this. So what's the story?
So-
Glory?
So the rumors I heard that she was anti-vax, but like that's not true. She just got vaccinated as soon as she like came back from being filmed. From what I saw on like on her Instagram, one of the captions, like she's kind of like a little bit pro-Israel. Like her caption saying like best Zionist in the world, best Zionist girl ever. So that's why people are like so like not liking Sydney, because like she's kind of like a little bit pro-Israel and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested to see. I wonder do we know if she's Jewish?
I don't know.
I'm not saying that this is whatever, but she is from Brooklyn. There's a pretty high percentage of a Jewish population in Brooklyn. So I don't know if maybe that's potentially why, but I understand, the political aspect of all of that and everything, and people are valid with that. She gives me Stephanie and Krista vibes from Redemption Island. She's like, and she said a Natalie White game because Natalie won, but I think that she's going to have more of the like outspoken vibes that the two that tried to work with Russell in Redemption Island had, and it wasn't successful. I think that that's pretty much where I have her. Is I don't see her going too far. I think that she has a lot of wonderful skills, and I can't wait to see. She could be good on a second season, comeback season.
And I heard like in her interviews that she said like she's not like anti-alliances, but like she like doesn't believe in alliances. So like that's gonna be kind of over a problem. Like people like try to reach her out to an alliance, she'll be like, oh, I don't know, like she could be like the messed up voter, like at a tribal council, like I'm just gonna vote whoever I want. Like she'll be kind of like the little bit of the hot mess, like strategist, like trying to like play her. So yeah,
we'll see. With that being said, I'm putting her on Andrew's team.
Yeah, well, Andrew.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do. That's what I was gonna do.
Seems like his type. All right, so Beth, go ahead and pick the next person to talk about in assigned here.
I want to talk about Danny Mcrae, who is an ex-NFL player who currently lives in Houston, Texas, but is from Frisco, or originally from Houston, Texas, and now lives in Frisco. Danny is interesting because I wanted to go back and look at like what is the success of athletes on this game.
Not very high.
Not very good.
It's not super high, but they normally make it to jury. Like I think of like Jeff Kent in Philippines. I'm like
Scott Pollard.
Gary.
Yes,
Gary
Scott Pollard. Like there's so many of them.
Gary
Alan Ball.
from Guatemala. Because he's an ex-football player.
There's a whole bunch of them that are ex-football players, ex-baseball players, ex-NBA. And I just kind of feel like they tend to all have a similar personality, which is like, they're not overly gregarious and like charismatic, but they're also not somebody who like people are against in the tribe. They're just kind of a casualty of, we need to vote out somebody who's strong within the first couple of votes at the merge. And so I kind of see him as that's his role here, like help the tribe get through, but doesn't play like the biggest strategic game. And he does say that he's charismatic and optimistic. If he has a little bit more of that outgoing personality and such, I could see him going a little bit farther, but it also comes down to he has a graduate degree, and he has an MBA. I mean, so like there are some things there that maybe differentiate him from this like stereotype that we've had in the past, but I think he'll be interesting to watch. I'm excited to see him play. And I would like to assign him to Dominic.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Can I just say,
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny, I feel like he's going to do really well in challenges. The only problem I have for him is like his physique. Like he's a big guy. Like he's played football. He kind of gives me like Alan from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers vibes a little bit.
Totally. That's a really good comparison, I think.
And based on like the way he speaks, I'm afraid he's going to be like a Scott Pollard, like kind of like bitter juror sort of thing. But like I really hope he doesn't. And also on one of his bio, he said in his pet peeves he doesn't like lying, which is kind of like a problem where I'm like, what show are you on? So I'm like, hopefully he has that like some strategy in him, but like I feel like he's just gonna be all brawn, but not
it's
enough
very
brain.
Like old school Survivor energy.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, are you there? I don't think so. So Adrian, go ahead and do the next pick for us then.
Okay.
Oh wait, Matt's here.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my last pick, and then I'm gonna have to run.
Okay.
I'd like to talk about David.
Okay, here we go.
I think he's one of the other pretty boys on the cast.
One of the potential villains, in my opinion.
Maybe. I'm trying to see what Asher thinks of David too. I think being a doctor could be a positive or a negative. Sometimes doctors do well, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
He says he wants to play like Russell Hands, which I think is a good role for him to get into. But he wants Todd's social game, so he identifies the weakness in Russell. He wants to play it like a better version. Yeah, exactly. So I think that he's aware. He said that he's been listening to. They asked him like, "What are you doing during quarantine?" He said listening to RHAP, which I think is a very good thing for him. I feel like he's going to be the one that either plays a really impressive game or overplays like way too quickly and gets like targeted because of that.
Yeah.
Adrian, what do you think?
David, reading his bio, like not really a big fan. Like I'm not into the type of guys who are so villainous that they want to.
Yeah.
When he said Russell Hands, I was like, okay, it's gonna be a problem. So yeah, I have that same thing as what you had, Tyler. Like he could be like the strategic mastermind of the season, or he could be like a huge flame out in the first 2 episodes. So yeah, that's what I had about David.
Matt, so who are you assigning David to?
Can you guess?
Rory.
Oh yes, this definitely belongs to Rory.
Oh my God, poor Rory. I'm so sorry,
Poor
Rory.
Rory.
We love you.
So it's really like I have 2 teams.
Yeah.
I now control Rory as well.
I love.
All right.
And it's what Asher demanded, so I have to follow what Asher wants.
That's right, Asher.
All right. So
if this is still going on, I'll be back, but otherwise I'm gonna pop out.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Go ahead,
Adrian.
Okay. Can we recap who we have left?
Yeah. So we have Nasir. Heather.
Yep. Deshawn, Eric, Jeannie.
Yeah. So 5.
Okay. So. Let's do Jeannie next.
All right. So give us the scoop on Jeannie.
Jeannie, yeah, I like her from like her interviews and her bio. Like she's really fun. Like she does give me like sort of like Elaine vibes to her. I can see her like her child like vibing well with her. The only problem I have is like once again, like will she able to like really connect with her tribe, or will she do really well in challenges? That's the only problem I have for her. So, yeah, I really like Jeannie. And Jeannie, she's a really good person to like hang out with in real life. So, yeah, I'm very excited to.
I feel like we're gonna get lots of good like confessionals from her about like the state of the tribes and everything. But yeah, I just worry about her being like an early boot because it is 3 teams of 6. I feel like there's not a lot of room to like hide in that situation. So it makes me worried for her, but I hope all the best for her. I like the Elaine comparison. I think that's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get a lot from her in her bio.
Same.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Really short. It's really short.
So I just kind of like, ooh, I hope this is like you just saving it for. I like how you put her on Matt.
Oh, it's just like default.
I know, but it was just funny. I was like,
Matt's gonna be
poor Ricardo. Why are you doing it to him?
Trust me, I don't want to do that to him.
I know.
Okay, Adrian. So go ahead and assign Jeannie to somebody.
Okay, Jeannie, I love you, but I'm afraid you're going to be an early merge boot. So I think if Matt wants to sabotage Rory's team, I'm choosing Violet, and I am going to sabotage Andrew's team.
That's who I was hoping you would.
I know, me too. It's like the least Andrew pick on the board, which is so funny. And Adrian. I love
and also tell Andrew I wanted to know it was me. So
tell Cersei.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go next, and I'm going to talk about Nasir. I really like his background. Like he came from like never having a phone or touching a computer, selling vegetables on the street, to making millions of dollars in sales for his company. He taught himself English by watching Survivor, which is very impressive. He comes from Sri Lanka, and he just like grew up in a remote village, and I feel like he's gonna have like a really interesting, unique story. And I feel like in the like in-person like interviews, like the video interviews, like the little snippets we got, he came off a lot more charismatic and like funny and just like more sociable than I expected him to. So I see good things happening here for Nasir. I'm really interested to see how he does.
Yeah, I really like Nasir, like from the interviews and like the audio interviews that I've listened to. Like he seems like a really like nice guy. He has that like sort of gives me Thai vibes because of like his accent. I feel like people are going to really fond of that. And that could also be a problem because of like once again like the language barrier. That's what I'm like afraid of people are going to do. The only thing he needs to do in order to get to final tribal council and win, he needs to keep that backstory shut for like all 26 days, because if he tells that story to like a lot of people are going to find him like, oh my god, he could win this game.
Pull a Jeremy.
Yeah.
Keep that secret.
Yeah.
And you're sending him to Hufflin?
Yes, I'm gonna.
When I tell you, I was literally gonna do the same exact thing. Like literally, was gonna talk about Nasir and then give him to Hufflin. That's so funny.
Beth, we're always on the same page. I love it. Okay, so we have 3 people left. So Beth, go ahead and pick the next person to.
The next person I want to talk about is Eric. Okay, so Eric is one of the oldest people in the cast. I think there's 2 people who are 51. Is it him and Heather are both? Wait, no, is Heather?
I think so. Heather's 52.
No, Heather's 52. So he's the second oldest on the cast. He's a cybersecurity analyst from San Antonio, Texas. He's from Georgia. He likes playing basketball, golfing, and reading. He doesn't like people who are slothful. And I think that in particular there's a lot here that like he's proud of his daughter. He likes scuba diving, likes doing all these things. He gives me dad vibes on this tribe, right? Or like on any tribe that he's going to be on. which is a red flag for me because I feel like he won't be the first boot, he won't be the second boot, but he will be the third boot of a tribe. So if a tribe goes 3 times, they're going to be like, we need to kick the leader out because dad's driving us nuts. That's what I get from him. I don't think that that's necessarily his intention, but I have a feeling like that'll be his impact on the tribes. So I hope that he goes far. He seems like he's interesting. He also says he wants to play a hybrid style game of Richard Hatch, Wendell Holland, and a touch of Boston Rob.
Yeah.
Like, what does that even look like?
That is quite the
That's
combination.
just a
quite
spread at that
ingredients.
point. He basically said, here are 3 players, and I'm just gonna list three winners here. But so I think he'll be
one more thing is he went to Air Force training, which I think is
Yes.
interesting. I just get like very old school vibes from him.
Yeah.
Adrian, do you have anything else to say about
Yeah,
Eric?
Eric from the interview is like a really lovable guy. Like, just want to add on, like, though he's in the Air Force, like he's sort of like broad strong. So like the only problem I have for him is like if he like is too much of a leader for his tribe, people could find out like, wow, he's doing so much. He's doing so much. We gotta like get him out early. I have him as going second boot because like people could find him as too much of a leader and stuff. So that's
I don't
why
see him merge. I don't.
Yeah.
Me too.
So,
All right. So Beth, where are you sending Eric to?
Let's give him to Stefan.
All right. So
I don't know if it's Stefan or Stefan. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure either.
I'm so
And I
sorry
should
if
know
I'm
that
saying
'cause
your
we
name
did-
incorrectly.
We RHAP patron show for
I
Survivor
know.
Cambodia together. He's a very, very nice guy. He will definitely be joining us at some point.
Good. I hope he does.
So Adrian, it's between Heather and Deshawn. So go ahead and make your pick.
Let's talk about you know what? Let's talk about Jennifer Coolidge, aka Heather.
She's the other Jennifer Coolidge.
See,
Yeah.
I think she looks more like Jennifer Coolidge in the face, but
Yes.
Tiffany gives me the whole vibe, like the way she dresses and just, I don't know, there's just something about it.
I think Jennifer Coolidge on an island is just on my mind because of the White Lotus. But like I just get like that vibe from her too. But Adrian, go ahead. Give us the spiel on Heather.
Yeah, Heather. She seems so lovable. I could see her be kind of like the mama bear of her tribe. Like people are gonna find her so lovable. She knows how to fish from her dad. She knows how to experience the outdoors while being a stay-at-home mom at the same time. So I could see her like some of her other tribe members being like finding comfort within her. My only problem is, will she like make it past pre-merge, like during the challenges, like will her tribe find her like a little bit of a weak link to like vote her out early? So that's what I've like mostly like concerned for Heather. But like overall, I really think she's like really lovable to like hang out with. So yeah, that's the only thing I had to say about Heather.
She gives me Allison vibes. I think she's going to be the strong, like, don't take shit Southern woman that's going to be on the strong mama bear vibes. But she's going to be the mama bear, but kind of break the mama bear mold. That's what I see with her. I have high hopes for Heather this season. I
do too, especially because like she knows her role, right? Like she says that she admires Tina Wesson, Lisa Welchel, who I'm a big fan of, and Chrissy Hoffbeck. So she knows like what she's being cast for and what they want out of her. So I feel like we have a fighter on our hands. We have somebody who could be a little bit more scrappy than we give her credit for.
And I heard she comes as like a sailor, so like I could see it for Allison.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Adrian, who are you giving Heather to?
Okay. Noah, let's give Hooflin the mom and dad team.
Oh, I love that. That's a good
God.
idea.
That's a great team. I love it. All right. So our last person is Deshawn. So Deshawn is 26. Although I feel like I get like older energy from him in a good way. But everything is about like being introspective, empathetic, being in touch with feelings, emotions. Kind of gives me Kylan vibes, if you will. He lists he wants his game to be like Surrey Fields with a sprinkle of Wendell's comp wins, which is good. But from what I see, he's just going to be a very social butterfly, almost like a Davy, I think, from David.
That's a really good comparison.
That's what I wrote.
Yeah,
that's what I legit wrote.
Yeah, Adrian, what do you think about Deshawn?
Yeah, I like Deshawn. Like, he's one of my top picks. Like, if some of my top picks were picked, I would pick him. I think he's gonna like do really well. Like, I think he's gonna be like the laugh for the tribe. Like, he's gonna like make his tribe laugh. I can see him doing okay in a couple of challenges. Like, hopefully, like he make it past the pre-merge. He does also give me really good Davey vibes. Like, I forgot the hashtag he does. Like, I think it's called Devious D-Rad, I've heard. Kind of like Devilish Davy. So I can really see him like kind of being funny and lovable while like behind the scenes being like a little sneaky and stealthy at the same time. I can see him finding a hidden immunity idol, in my opinion, like in one of the episodes. So
he gives me the vibe that he's going to overplay the social aspect. Like, I think he's going to become too much of a social threat. And that's going to, like, I can see him going as a right before the merge boot or the merge boot itself, or I see him going far. I don't think he goes super early, but he's like mid game for me, or like right where the game splits open. Because I think you have to, with those situations, you have to have people who you get to know them a little bit. You have some time to really see what they're doing, and then you start getting worried about them, and you take care of them before they can do too much damage, especially when tribes are coming together. So I think that he's somebody who could do that. I could see him trying to lead an alliance and then have him like get ousted by that same alliance. Like, that's the vibe I get, and I hope that's not true, because I think he seems like a really great person. So but that's kind of where I'm seeing him.
All right, well, guys, that is it. That is our official patron draft for Survivor 41. I cannot wait for this season. It's hard to believe we're only a week away. I think Beth and I might do like a points draft as well, just to spice things up a little bit, since we split a team here tonight. Also, while we're here and talking about Survivor, I do want to publicly shame Beth. Because all year long we've been following the RHAP 40 seasons countdown, and we picked we ranked the seasons that we thought would be, and so we have a result, and anytime I get to brag about myself, I'm going to take it. So I'm going to remove this and then share.
I was like, why do I have to get shamed? No, I need to get shamed. Look at how awful this is going to be.
It's actually cool. You had a lot lot of points like there at the end, but
can't wait.
So here is the
it's not that bad. Okay.
Yeah,
I've been looking at this for a few weeks. So
I had 36 points and Beth had 30. Very interesting to see. We've had the same like top three, which I think was really interesting. So that's that. And any last thoughts about the season before we head on out?
Well, Rory says, I hope I lose this draft immediately.
You can thank Matt for that. You can thank Matt.
I set it up to be that way.
Love it. Matt, do you have any last thoughts before we sign off here?
I'm going to win, and you're all going to have to deal with it.
Love it. Adrian, do you have any last thoughts about the season?
Yeah, very excited for my team. Let's go, Chantel and Tiffany and Andrew. I am not ever very sorry for picking your team. Good luck, buddy.
I couldn't pick for Andrew's team because he knows me, and I don't want to get hurt.
Yep.
I like how me and Matt are the villains, and then you and Beth are like the heroes on top.
That means I'm winning the season.
Blue just for hero tonight. But let's be real, I would be a villain in Survivor. Beth, any last thoughts on the cast before we head out?
I think we're in for a treat this season. Not only just because we've been so long without a Survivor, but be a brand new cast. And I can't wait to see new people playing the game and see what kind of adjustments the producers have made to the season. I mean, we know some of the big ones, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Well, there you go. Matt and Adrian, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be in touch so that you guys can come on during the official season of Survivor and talk all things Survivor 41. So with that being said, if you want to be a part of future drafts, definitely consider becoming a Patreon. So go to www.patreon.
You can click on my comment that I already put in the chat.
Oh, yes. Thank you. There we go. So this is the link to become a patron of My Weekly Meltdown. Just patreon.com/myweeklymeltdown.
It just automatically puts in posts for me because I'm a patron.
Yes. And Matt also reminds us to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Not only on YouTube, but we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So definitely check us out.
It's up there.
Us there as well.
If you scroll up slightly, it's there.
Matt, this is why we love you. You're keeping my head on straight tonight. All right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your night. Take care, and we'll see you guys later.